Welcome, folks. If you'd like to know how you can grow your business in any economy and 10x your mindset, your marketing, your sales, and your follow-up, then you're in the right place with the 10x Business Coach Program Series Down Under podcast hosted by myself, Gary Ryan, and Alison Wheeler. This evening, we have our special guest, Rosemary Hocknell, who is the founder of Social Tides. And Social Tides is a marketing and sales and relationship business with a twist. So Rosemary, Social Tides has just had its second birthday. Would you like to tell the audience about what you do and what's that special twist about your services to everyone out there that engages you?
Gary, thank you so much for the warm welcome. Yeah, look, Social Tides, what are we? What do we do and how do we do it? It's always such a great question. For us, it really is fundamentally about helping people anchor their brand. What does that mean? You know, for us, as you can see, I've got a theme in the background with the ocean. You know, marketing just goes so much beyond, digital. It's more often than not that feeling that people are left with. Now, I don't know about you, but when I go to the beach, I tend to always look behind me and I look at those footprints. And those footprints are, it resonates with me in terms of real life because people leave either the right footprint in your life or they leave a footprint which kind of leaves a bit of a bitter taste and you want it to be a really distant memory. So when you're looking back on those footprints, you actually want to be remembering those that have actually made the right impression. So what we do is we help business owners anchor their brand. And typically we do that by working with them at different stages of their business. Often, you've got a really small business. They start off with a dinghy and, their systems and processes are not going to be like someone who is sailing off into the sunset that, has got more structure to their boat. So for us, we work in three different ways. Gary, Alison, we believe fundamentally you are the heartbeat of your business. So as a result of that, you need three things. You need profit, presence, and people. So what does that look like? What does it actually mean for a business owner? So presence means marketing. So what we do, we help business owners create brand advocacy. We create brand awareness and brand consistency. And fundamentally, that then starts to give you company distinction. We then look at profit, which is sales. That needs to help customers with customer acquisition, revenue generation, upselling and cross-selling, which then gives you company growth. But people sort of wouldn't think, oh, that's not unusual. Marketing and sales, they go hand in hand together. But where we've put a twist into things, again, with the three Ps is profit, presence, and people. So the third one is, in fact, talent acquisition. And it really does work because we become so immersed in the culture of a business where we can help people sail ahead of their competition, whether it be through our virtual assistant support services or whether it actually is through our recruitment services. So talent acquisition for us means it's creating innovative solutions. It's bringing people on board that can create sort of, employee retention because you get the right people on board. And of course, people that have got that customer focus because we've gotten to know the culture so well, we're helping to bring the right people on board. So that gives you then company development. So that's what we do, Gary. We focus on people, presence, and profit, which essentially is marketing, sales, and talent acquisition, which to summarize gives you company distinction, company growth, and company development. And that's what we do.
Well, I have to say, Rosemary, that for our audience, how you just nailed who you are and what you do to perfection is not because this is the first time you've ever done it, right? You've practiced and practiced and practiced, which is clearly you've just given us an example of what you do for your customers because you teach them how to represent their brand. It was a brilliant way of describing and demonstrating to everyone out there exactly what you do. Alison?
Oh, absolutely. Look, you're a seasoned professional, clearly, Rosemary, and I've had the pleasure of seeing you actually publicly speak as well, which I know that you love to do, and there's a reason you're also incredibly good at it, and entertaining, right? And can deliver me your message very well. So, you have that presence, that brand side for yourself, and then clearly that resonates through your business very well. Something you spoke about, presence, promotion, branding. From a 10x perspective, we talk a lot about, being omnipresent, the importance of being omnipresent. So from your perspective, promotion and omnipresence in this day and age, how important do you believe, is omnipresence to a business these days?
Alison, it's critical. I often educate my clients and prospects with the importance of maintaining both a digital footprint and a social footprint. You cannot have one without the other. And the best way that I look at it is, if you jump on, onto a paddleboard or a kayak, you can't get on there without the paddles to be able to move forward. And really, marketing is exactly the same thing. You cannot do one without the other. I mean, most of us don't go and eat a burger and say, look, bring us the buns and nothing in between. We want the juice. So for any business owner today, we really need to have an omnipresence. So for me, I encourage my clients to not only show up on their social media, to engage with email marketing, to make sure that they have the relevant CRMs in place. And of course, don't stop there. Join a reputable networking organization, something that resonates with you as a person. Get yourself out there, because at the end of the day, it's people who open doors, and is your digital presence that reminds them that you exist, and it also helps to maintain your credibility. And if you're comfortable with speaking, as you said, Alison, it's something I particularly enjoy. Get out there and, be an MC, be a speaker, gain credibility within your audience, like you and Gary. You're pumping out some awesome books. Again, get yourself out there. If you can even become an author, all those things help in building an omnipresence.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think something you said was about, getting out there, right? Often now, and I particularly in the digital age, I think that, and I've seen this, people want to hide behind their computer or hide in their office. I'm not sure how many people there are in your office that you can meet, right? Like it's, yeah, okay, if you're getting your door knocked down by customers, maybe that's okay. But, for most businesses, that's not the case, and certainly not at the moment. There is that need for and necessity really to get out there and get known and get in the community and be someone who has a presence out there physically also. And what do you think is the importance of, because a lot of people find, and I think this is post-pandemic, people are finding this much harder to actually get out. And you spoke about the importance of getting out and building the thing that we turning contacts into contracts as a term in 10x, and the difference being the R, which is the relationships. So that importance of getting out there and building relationships. How do you think, or how do you encourage people to do that? What do you think the barriers are?
Alison, I think fear is a big thing. I think people fear rejection. They fear being told no. But being a business owner means you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to develop a thick skin. You've got to be able to take 10 no's before you can get one yes. It's about developing a level of resilience that, you can power through it, because the right customer, the right prospect is out there for everybody. But as you just said, it's not going to happen sitting behind a computer. Gone are the days of yellow pages. That's long gone. We're in a digital era, and it is critical, and it's more than ever important to show up. And I think more often than not, people get entangled with strategy. I've got to have a strategy for social media. And the only strategy you need to have is, it's simple: show up.
Yes.
Show up, show up, show up, show up. There is no other strategy. Get in front of a camera. You don't need all these bells and whistles, zooting behind you in a frame. Just show up, put a camera in front of you, introduce yourself, get yourself out there. And I think when people just realize that after one video, 2 videos, 3 videos, they go, oh, that wasn't actually too bad. I kind of got myself out there, and your confidence grows. So for me, Alison, the biggest thing is fear. People don't do things because of fear. Often I've heard from clients and even sort of prospects, it's, oh, there's keyboard warriors out there. They're going to be people that are going to reject me. They're people that are going to criticize me. Again, unfortunately, we've got to be able to take the criticism with the good. Not everybody's going to be a keyboard warrior. And if you're going to get 95% of comments that are positive versus 5% that might be negative, is it worth the negative winning over the 95% that's actually really, really positive? It's not worth it. So I would say to any business owner, challenge yourself, do one video a week, get yourself out there, and nobody can be you. You can't be anybody else. Put imposter syndrome to the side, put your fear to the other side, and get out there and knock it out the park, because that's the only way you're going to grow yourself and your business.
Yeah, 100%, Rosemary. And, one of the reasons why we start with 10X mindset is because we teach people, if you're successful, you are going to get, I'm going to use the word haters. You're going to get haters. You've actually got
100%.
to learn to celebrate the fact that a hater, unfortunately, it's just a reality, but it's a great mindset to take, is a sign of success. You're not getting haters if you're not successful. Now, on this fear point, I'm interested for one of the aspects that you do around people with social tides, and that's help source people, particularly VAs. And for early starting businesses, one of the biggest fears that people have is going from being a solopreneur to actually having staff of any form. Tell us about that VA service and how might you be able to calm the nerves of some folk about the services that you provide around that? Because I know a lot of small business owners are quite scared, in inverted commas, to actually go out and engage VAs, because for starters, they go, where do I start?
Absolutely. Gary, again, it's another great question. Thank you. I think for most of our clients, we put ease into the process because we don't just go and find someone and leave you to it. As the founder of Social Tides, I become a conduit between yourself and the business and the virtual assistant. And what I mean by that is I get to know you, your business, your culture, your brand, your tone. And generally, we would have people on the team that we've been working with for a very long time that we then look at personality matching and making sure there's the right skill set. I had a meeting with a prospect in Perth a couple of weeks ago, and they're looking for somebody that does data, someone who's really strong in data. And they were like, well, how are you going to know you're going to get the right person? I said, well, firstly, I don't want to go and find an extrovert, who's really bubbly and outgoing. I said, because not only am I going to kill their personality, doing data, but the job role itself is not going to last. It's going to be a 5-minute job. And it's like, I'm out because I'm a creative. So for me, most importantly, it's looking at really matching the talents to the company. And where we're different is, as I say, we act as a conduit. We're a fully managed service. So we're great being able to help really small business owners get a leg up so they can become digitally present. We've got Kanban boards in place where content, for example, is curated, collated. There's a full approval process, again, giving the client confidence in terms of nothing's just going to be thrown out there, but actually it's about process, procedure, communication, really just being able to collaborate with the client and work with them to deliver a solution and checking in with people. Because at the end of the day, people do have fears. It's terrifying. Suddenly they've gone from, I'm juggling all these different things to recognizing, hang on a minute, in order to grow my business, I can't physically be in the trenches all the time. I need help. I need to delegate. And then it's working with our clients to look at what can they delegate in bite-sized chunks that gives them the confidence that the problem has a solution, and of course the delivery is there. And I see clients' confidence grows, and then it's like, oh, you know what? Oh, and you can literally sort of see that shoulder, like, oh, the relief. And clients then have the confidence to start delegating more. So as I say, with a fully managed service, it does help tremendously, and getting to know the culture, the right person, to make sure that it's helping the right client, that's imperative, because that's how you get sustainability with the relationship.
And Rosemary, we've had experience with some folk that have had a VA and it hasn't been going so well, but they've stuck with it over here because of the fear of losing them or losing that VA, even though actually the VA is costing them a lot of time. So have you had experience where you've helped people go from that current experience to over here with you where you got that fully managed service. So we've helped them transition from an unsatisfactory VA experience to a satisfactory VA experience.
I've had a couple of people, and I've just been speaking to somebody very recently. Gary, again, it's fundamentally about collaboration and communication and being able to put someone's mind at ease. For us, I think, everyone's in the market offering a different solution, but what we also do differently is we offer bite-size or chunks in blocks of time. So a lot of virtual assistant services out there say, well, look, I need, they only offer 40 hours or 30 hours, whereas we do a minimum block a month of 10 hours. So in that instance, a lot of our clients have actually built some sense of foundation of trust straight away, because it's like, oh, hang on a minute, you're not trying to sort of sell me 40 hours a week. You're saying, I only need this amount of support over this amount of time in a month. And that immediately gives clients confidence, because we do recognize that some businesses are really small, that they cannot financially commit to that length of time. So we've got 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours, 25 hours a month. And that creates a lot of trust that the client goes, you know what, this is manageable. And then again, the communication that's sort of going back and forth.
And my last question in the technical space is on that topic, that a really scary one. And that topic is those 3 letters, CRM.
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell us about introducing people to the world? Because folk get very frightened by it, from my experience.
And maybe also too, so there'll be people listening who don't necessarily even know what a CRM is.
True.
So maybe, so for those of you listening who you're like, what on earth is a CRM? Can you please speak English, people, or break it down, because it sounds like a foreign language. So CRM is a customer relationship manager, for those people that don't know what that is. So it's something when you're generating leads and inquiries, it's something where on a very minimum level, it can do many, many things. But on a very basic level, it manages that inquiry and can take them through the whole process. You can automate and systemize, and they're beasts. They can do so many different things depending on what you want, from simplistic things all the way through to complex things. But effectively, it's a hub for lead management, lead contact, making it easier so you can go from spreadsheets, books, all that kind of thing, and start to systemize and allow your life to be a lot easier. Just in case someone is going, oh, what are you talking about, people?
It's certainly a great explanation, Alison. Thank you so much. Gary, look, a CRM is just absolutely critical. I suppose it's a no-brainer in how you want your business to grow and scale. And for business owners that do want that sort of growth, and they want to 10x it, and they want to be managing a team and leading, you need to introduce a CRM. It's the only way in which fundamentally you can manage both your marketing and sales pipeline. It becomes a visual aid. It becomes a tremendous tool to be able to facilitate communication externally through newsletters, nurture sequence. A nurture sequence can be a 3-part email series that goes out to prospects. You could then create another completely unique email series that's for existing clients. You can create bite-sized tips and information during the course of the year. And with that automation in place, it saves an incredible amount of time. And even just beyond the marketing and sales, again, if we look at scaling a business, I always educate my clients, even if you think this is going to be your business for the next 10, 20 years, always have an exit strategy in mind. Always build the business with the view that you're going to sell. So building a business with a view to sell, you want to make sure you've got the right systems, processes, procedures, and people in place that you can scale the business to go, hang on, you know what, one day actually, my interests have changed. I want to retire, or I want to go and live somewhere else or do something else. A CRM is absolute gold, because it's an asset where people can then look back and go, my God, you've got a phenomenal client base. They can see the track record. It's there. The history tells the story, which is, as I say, critical. The business has to have a CRM today.
And that's a really good point about the valuation of your business into the future due to the value of that CRM list and the data and detail in it. So, Rosemary, you just touched on the word 10X there. What can you tell us about your introduction to 10X? What's your journey with it?
Gary, I can't say I've had a very deep journey with 10x, other than Alison and yourself. I've certainly been very inspired by a lot of the work that Alison and you have both been doing. I've participated in a couple of webinars, which I found phenomenal. And I think for me, one of the biggest things is the mindset around the 10x philosophy. The mindset, the education, the ongoing learning, just, pushing people beyond what they think that their goals are and what they can be. I think often we maybe don't give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. We sort of create goals which are like, oh, I think I can get that. And we don't necessarily push that envelope further. Whereas, with the 10x model, it's, how can you do this 10 times more than what you're doing? If you're doing 100K this year, can't you do 1 million for the next 12 months, So yeah, that would be sort of my introduction and journey into it is you and Alison. And again, huge inspiration. I look at both of you in terms of, what you're doing, both in terms of your social media platforms, your marketing materials, the books that you're getting out. So you guys are really, you're making a mark. You're creating a footprint that's going to be memorable, now and right into the future. And of course, that's what you want to be.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing too, and Alison and I experienced this due to our connection into the global coaching community that we're part of and everything that comes with that. And to see with the customers globally of the 10X people, one of the real benefits is having business owners into a community where they're getting inspiration from other business owners at the same time who have all got that 10X mindset. And to be in that community where you're with other business owners, and it's fascinating. Like we're connected to businesses in the hundreds of millions of dollars of turnover, and they're in the same room with people that are doing in the hundreds of thousands, and that's okay. And they're like, how can we help you? What inspiration, what advice, what support can we give? And at the moment, Alice and I are building that community here in Australia where there is a safe place where like-minded business owners who want a 10X, who want to go to the next level, can be learning from and with other similarly inspiring leaders. And that's something that's really powerful for us.
Yeah, look, it's so important to be, and as you know, surrounded by like-minded people, and that sounds a bit cliche, but 10X thinking is quite unique, and it's kind of like, why not go hell yes? Why not? Why? Like we literally have nothing to lose by thinking bigger. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. And Rosemary said earlier about, often we'll set a goal, but often we set a goal we think we actually know we can obtain.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like a safe goal. Well, if you put a zero or several zeros on the end of that, what does it look like then? Because we also know that our best thinking and our best actions have got us to this point. So if you want to create something else, you need a different viewpoint. And when you 10X your goal, what it is it's shifting you to have a different viewpoint, to find new solutions, to look at things in different ways, and to live to your full potential instead of what you think you can do, or you maybe, downsizing your goals is a mistake that a lot of people make instead of increasing their activity, right, to meet that goal, or becoming the person that they want to be, letting go of the actions and the beliefs and all of that goes with the person they were being, and morphing into the person that they need to be. So Rosemary, look, what I would love to know, speaking about 10X, is from the word itself, like, what does 10X actually mean to you?
To me personally, it means being able to absolutely push your goals beyond 10 times. But it's not just your goals, it's your beliefs. Because again, our beliefs and values are so intertwined into who we are, but it's actually breaking free from some of those beliefs and values that we know that we are capable of actually doing 10 times more than we are. That we can create a much bigger goal, your BHAG. Some people have got a BHAG, but even that BHAG is achievable. So what is that goal beyond that BHAG? So instead of striving for 1 million, make it 10 million, make it 20 million. So that to me is 10X, is being able to really push that envelope to something that you believe you can get and exceed beyond.
So, and again, BHAG is big, hairy, audacious,
Audacious goal.
right? So, so if what? Which is all a 10x philosophy. But I think, it is pushing those boundaries. But you know what? Whose boundaries get pushed? You push your business boundaries, but it's really you. And
Correct.
like pushing into your full greatness. What an amazing idea. And again, I like that I love that you're embracing the 10x philosophy and 10xing your goals and pushing your boundaries and taking a look at things differently from a different vantage point and living in that. Well, what if that could happen? What if that could actually happen? And getting curious. So, Gary, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you. And Rosemary, where you started was about helping people. And ultimately, that's what 10X is about too. It's about 10Xing our capability to help other people, to help them with our services, which means ultimately, whether it's a product or a service, we have to be the first one that's fully sold on the difference that we make to the people that we're serving. It's very, very obvious at the start that you are, and that you are clearly helping people with social tides. That's why we got to that second birthday. Yeah, we're going to get to the third birthday and beyond. That's
Absolutely.
What are some of the best ways for our audience to reach out and contact you so that they can access your services, Rosemary?
Gary, they are welcome to look at my website, www.socialtides.com.au. My contact details are all accessible there, mobile telephone numbers, emails, and of course then LinkedIn as well, which is Rosemary Hocknell, where we help you anchor your brand to sail ahead of your competition.
Thank you so much. So, folks, we've been so delighted this evening, Alison and myself, Gary Ryan, to have Rosemary Hocknell from Social Tides here with you this evening on our episode of the 10X Business Coach Program series Down Under podcast. We thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to you joining us again next time. Thanks, Rosemary. Thanks, Alison.
Thanks, Gary and Alison. Really great to see you both. Cheers.
Bye.